Okay, let's look at the photographs of those people in the history of the Fourth Republic who have been appointed by presidents to implement Article 71 and see whether there are people who are interested in corruption or they want to steal Ghana money and give it to vice president and president or something like that. I don't find anything wrong with Article 71. It actually helps us to be able to determine the work of a president and determine whether he deserves 10,000 or he deserves 15,000. It's a sort of check on the work of the president. It's a check that we can put on the president. I think it's good. So if somebody wants to repeal it, they should tell us how else are we going to have the emoluments for the president and all those people listed in the Constitution, Article 71. If you don't have a replacement for it, it just means that you haven't thought about it. You are just being populist. And we don't want that for our election 2024. We want politicians to say concrete things, and we want to be able to take them on for what they've said. This is Professor Miranda Greenstreet. Now, anyone tell me, appointed by Flight Lieutenant Rawlings, to look at Article 71 and make a determination of their appointments. Does anyone tell me that Miranda Greenstreet was about corruption when she did that work? I mean, can anyone say that? So we have to deal with these things and understand them so that we can take on politicians who just want to be populist. Miranda Greenstreet is the one who did the recommendation of Article 71 at the end of Flight Lieutenant Rawlings' tenure. That was in 1997, the end of the first term. And she determined that Mr. Rawlings should have earned this, but he was earning this. So this is, and it was paid to J.J. Rawlings. When Professor Mills came, under Article 71, it's compulsory, it's a president shall. So Professor Mills, towards the end of the tenure, also set up the committee. No, that was Mr. Kufuor. President Kufuor came before Professor Mills, didn't he? So President Kufuor, at the end of his tenure, also set up a committee chaired by Fred Owari. Now, anyone should tell me that Fred Owari, that we know, the man who set up Universal Merchant Bank, the one who set up SDC, the one who is the grandfather of the stock exchange, Fred Owari, the one who gave the loan to Ken Ofori-Atta to set up Data Bank, and Ofori-Atta talks about it till today. Owari gave them $25,000 in 1991. This is Fred Owari. Now, anyone tell me that Fred Owari was doing that for corruption? Well, what corruption? I don't even get it. So when Kufuor was going, he said, Fred Owari, you are an experienced banker. You understand the system. Come and advise on Article 71. Fred Owari gave an advice and said the parliament should end this. The president should end this. It was taken. And then Professor Mills came in and they did all sorts of things about it. When Professor Mills was leaving, he came in with Ishmael Yamson. Ishmael Yamson was responsible for advising on Article 71, appointed by Professor Mills. Now, anyone tell me, Ishmael Yamson, the eternal chairman of Unilever Ghana, anyone tell me that he was looking for corruption in advising on Article 71? What kind of politics are we doing in this country? People are so dishonest, and they are just looking for public applause. We will not allow that, because we want to have a righteous political conversation. You want political applause, I've returned councillors, then you keep the car, then you say I've returned them. Bring the car. You can't come and just say, I'm president, I'll scrap Article 71. Then Martin Pebu says, okay, so bring your money. Oh, he's silly. Just because we have to say something about Article 71. What is wrong with Article 71? Anyone tell me what is wrong with Article 71? We shouldn't pay our president. If we have to pay our president, show us how to determine it. If you're a politician and you want us to change Article 71, show us how we should pay the president, and then we will replace that. So when you look at amendment of laws, you go to parliament and you look at amendment of laws, you will see, replace section 8 with that. When they are amending laws, they don't come and say, let us amend Article 2 and we leave it. No. We amend Article 2 to replace sections 15 or paragraph 2 with the words if and do, so that it should now read like this. That's how they amend laws in parliament. So if you're a politician, you don't say that I want to remove it and you don't put it. It just means that your handlers, and I come back to that, your handlers have been bereft of thinking. They have not thought through the process very well. Now, I don't understand that, because NDC, that I know, they have a lot of important Esther Koba, Mrs. Chikata Chachu's wife. She's a great speech writer. She can do that for President Mahama. You have a lot of people in there. They are all in the NDC. They can think and put down speeches for President Mahama. They should not allow this kind of thing. It's not great for a president who speaks and we can't put it in context and be competitive about it. And we have to now come and criticize and say that it appears that the president has misapprehended the import of Article 71. We can't do that. So that's Ishmael Yamson. He was appointed by Professor Mills and I have to add, the very distinguished Ismail Yamson, appointed by Professor Mills to look at articles, and he did a very good job. I interviewed him on this program in Good Evening Ghana sometime in 2009 about the review that he was asked to do on Fred Oware's work. Professor Mills had asked him to do a review on Fred Oware's work. And I interviewed him about it. He sat down and did an excellent job. Are we saying that he was doing it for corruption? Really? Okay, so that was Professor Mills. And then who? Oh, sorry. Who came next? Remind me of the name again. They'll give me the name. They'll give me the name in a minute. So this must have been President Mahama, the professor that President Mahama appointed to be in charge of advising on Article 71. Professor Intiamwa. Is that another one coming? She's the last one. Okay. Professor Intiamwa had also had occasion to look at Article 71. So that's the purpose of Article 71. It is to determine the president's salary, the salary of council. So the committee set up by the president will determine, and the constitutes a committee of experts, will determine the president's salary. And that's why they said that the salary of the president includes the emolument. It is included. But because of the nature of our economy, the nature of our inflation situation, and all of that, we have to be determining this periodically. Periodically. We can't determine it at the beginning. We can, if we want, repeal Article 71 and say that the national president of Ghana will earn $25,000 a month until otherwise determined by Parliament. So $25,000 a month, equivalent of CD. So Kufuor will receive CD something, Mills will receive CD something. We can even make jokes about it, that when Rawlings was receiving $25,000 as his salary, that $25,000 at that time was 20,000 CDs. When it got to Kufuor, the same $25,000 is 200,000 CDs. We can make jokes about that. But we know that the president is earning $25,000 a month. President Mahama could have said that I think that we should repeal Article 71. When I look at the president of Ghana and everything he controls, I think $8,000 a month after tax is good for the president. Let us legislate it that way. So we are going to repeal Article 71. Now, repealing Article 71 also is not simple. I'm going to show you the process. Then you will see that when a president who has been president before comes back and say, I'm going to repeal Article 71, you really have to ask him a lot more questions.